Hello everyone, we are reporting to you live from WWDC 2024 where Apple just wrapped up its keynote. We're actually skipping lunch right now to talk to you all about Apple Intelligence.
Oh yeah, this is Apple's not quite AI thing. They're calling it AI, but it's not artificial intelligence. The phrase they've been using today is personal intelligence and also going beyond artificial intelligence. And I was just struck by Sherlyn, this is a very Apple move, right?
Yeah.
This is a very kind of looking what Microsoft has done, which got Microsoft in trouble, what got Google in trouble last year around the Bard launch, and even most recently a recall with Microsoft. It really seems like Apple's avoiding a lot of those potential mistakes.
I think given the last few weeks, we have been seeing Google and Microsoft tell us all about their AI pushes, and we've been expecting Apple to do this. It's pretty typical Apple to be Apple Intelligence is built with privacy at its core, but I will say impressed or actually surprised to see mention of more than just on-device processing for some of these AI tasks. We're relying on something called privacy cloud compute for some of the heavier tasks, as well as integration with ChatGPT. Devendra, I know you had a very strong idea on some of these pitfalls that Apple is avoiding. Can you tell me more about that?
Yeah, when we saw the recall feature from Microsoft, I think we all immediately saw that as a major privacy issue, and security researchers and a lot of people looked into that and also saw that Microsoft didn't do some basic things to kind of secure that data. It just seemed really creepy. And Apple's talking about something really similar here, the ability to look through your emails, see your messages, see files that people have sent to you or things they've linked you to, but it also seems very secure. It's not about capturing literally everything you're doing. It's about kind of keeping an on-device, secure way of just remembering what you're doing, I guess. It's just it seems like they're framing it differently. We still need to see how this actually works, but hey, it's not going to be a plain text file that somebody can just walk into your computer and just find. It just seems like Apple has thought about this a little more deeply. What do you think?
Yeah, so I'm not sure the privacy concerns are completely eliminated. The thing about Genmoji and Image Playground, kind of creating likenesses of your friends based on your photo gallery, that seems a little iffy. I wonder if Apple will be very clearly labeling the images were generated by AI or Genmoji were made by AI. That's something we'll have to see in action, or maybe we'll learn a bit more as the day progresses. But yeah, that's something that we lacked details on from the keynote that I personally feel it's going to be a little tricky and something that the rest of the industry has sort of dealt with already, but Apple being new to this with Apple Intelligence is going to have to contend with.
I do have some thoughts. It does seem like the Genmoji thing, you're right. It's unclear if those are artificial or not. I think they look so cartoonish that maybe you'll be yeah, sure, of course, it's a cartoon or it's an AI image. What's interesting is the integration with OpenAI and ChatGPT. There's a lot of asking you. So Siri asks you, hey, is it okay if I send this request to ChatGPT? And then you get the results within the Siri window, not in a separate thing or an OpenAI app. It's all kind of self-contained, and it's all about asking you. And I think that's really key. I think that's a really smart thing that Copilot certainly doesn't do. Copilot's just hey, we're just sending all it's magic. Who cares about privacy with Copilot, right?
Apple's a bit more transparent with this request for knowledge and data, and Apple has always been kind of leading the way on this. I am also actually very happy to see that the integration with ChatGPT comes free for iOS 18, iPadOS 18, and macOS Sequoia. But how long that'll last, all these Apple Intelligence features being free, how long will that last? We don't know.
Good point. I think that's another good point, and something I kind of wished on Twitter last night was for the love of God, Apple, do not do a premium AI subscription plan. I feel that's nickel and dime users. What Apple is selling here is this stuff is baked into your device. Occasionally it goes to the cloud, and they're not talking about any premium stuff yet. And I think that's the way to handle it, right? People expect the stuff just to work, not to have to pay an extra $10 or $20 a month for maybe slightly better AI features.
Right now, none of this stuff is very proven yet, and to expect people to pay for it, like you said, feels like nickel and diming. It feels like it's not a good way to pull in users. It's not a good user experience to begin with. Apple will win if it basically pulls everyone into its ecosystem the way it's done with all of its different products and across different platforms, and then keeping them locked in there. And then it'll start charging you a premium to use Apple Intelligence because they are intelligent.
That's what they do. One more thing I want to mention is that all the features Apple showed off, and it's stuff within iOS and Siri, too. Siri's so much smarter now. I don't want to sound like an Apple fanboy, but this does seem like the example of Apple kind of looking at an existing market. MP3 players existed before the iPod, smartphones existed before the iPhone, but kind of coming into that market with a new, slightly more smart and more thoughtful way of implementing that technology. And I do feel like that's the thing. Like all the features they've talked about, I kind of want to use that right now. I want to use that new Siri. I want to use all these things. I paid for Copilot Pro for several months, and it was so useless because I have to test the stuff. But it was so useless. It didn't do much. It didn't really make my life better. So I think, at the very least, Apple is selling AI, Apple Intelligence, as something that could help users.
Well, there's still a lot to come out of WWDC 2024. I mean, that was like a high-level preview of all the things coming to iOS 18, iPadOS 18, macOS Sequoia, watchOS 11, tvOS, so many things. Go to Engadget.com for all of the details because we have individual articles on everything. We have the live blog, and I'm sure we'll have a lot more follow-up coverage that will detail even more of this after me and Devindra take all our meetings and previews and demos
Stay tuned.
Here at WWDC. Yes, so stay tuned.